In February of 2024, the United States Department of Agriculture, alongside the USDA Equity Commission, made nationwide headlines with the release of the Equity Commission final recommendations. A culmination of 2 years of work, 6 public meetings, and countless workforce hours for members and USDA staff across the country. A total of 66 recommendations have been presented to the department by the Equity Commission to help address discriminatory practices, closing the racial wealth gap, and addressing long-standing inequities in agriculture. Let us take a look back at the journey of USDA's Equity Commission. In January 2021, President Biden signed Executive Order 13985 on advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government, and committed to the creation of an Equity Commission as part of his rural agenda.
At USDA, we base our equity effort on 4 very significant pillars. The first pillar is the establishment of an Equity Commission, 15-member commission taking a very specific and very deep dive look at USDA in an effort to try to determine what systemic barriers still exist with reference to our programs and the availability of those programs, and to make recommendations to root out those systemic barriers that do exist.
In September of 2021, USDA announced the intent to establish the Equity Commission and formally requested nominations for membership to the Advisory Committee and Subcommittee on Agriculture.
Sure. Here at USDA, we are serious about our efforts to end discrimination across all areas of the department and to improve access to services for those we serve. That is why we're creating an Equity Commission to hold us accountable and push us further into ensuring that all we do is fair and equitable.
In February of 2022, USDA officially launched the Equity Commission and virtually hosted the inaugural meeting of the Equity Commission and Agriculture Subcommittee. Between February and September of 2022, the Equity Commission held 3 public meetings where members presented and voted on recommendations for inclusion in the interim report.
My whole thing is lifting up the farmer, making sure that the farmer is valued for what he brings to the table. We as a commission and Ag Subcommittee can do a lot, but it's where the rubber meets the road with the farm workers and the farmers. My age-old thing, the trust, the transparency, and the transformation of all that we do.
The third public meeting was held in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, with the RCED and Agriculture subcommittees.
When you work in the Department of Civil Rights, when you work as a civil servant, you have a responsibility to serve the people with justice and equity. And so our role is to advocate for that.
In February 2023, the Equity Commission presented the interim report to the Secretary of Agriculture. The report included 32 actionable recommendations. Simultaneously, USDA released an official response to the Equity Commission's interim recommendations, which provided insight for how USDA will address the recommendations and equity concerns.
This report is very important to me personally and to our underserved and other represented communities together to make sure that these recommendations are implemented correctly, that all of us in different communities speak as one voice and fight as one body.
Chante Washte, Nape, Chiuzapi, which means I greet you with a good heart.
In June and October of 2023, the Equity Commission held its 5th and 6th public meetings.
List the executive order and the statement Equity for All. For us and for me, it meant meeting people where they are. And Executive Order 13985 has allowed this committee to stop asking the individual to overcome the structural.
Equity is for everyone. So often the lens is being painted as discrimination or minority-based, but it goes beyond that. It's serving everyone and making sure we all have a seat at the table.
We all bring a certain lens to this work, and that's incredibly valuable to bring and to have at the table at this moment. And having each other here to get to look through other people's lenses as a result of this collaboration is so powerful. It's going to make our work better. And the recommendations that you deliver to USDA will make USDA's work better.
Because the work of this commission was long overdue. And the recommendations that we will make a difference. And I believe change people's lives.
As a culmination of analysis of USDA programs and services, research and review of previous USDA commissions and reports, countless conversations with department staff, and welcome input of stakeholders spanning the country, the Equity Commission published and presented their final report on February 22, 2024.
So I'm proud today to accept this report. I'm even prouder to accept the challenge this report creates.
It's been clear to me from day one of this assignment that Secretary Vilsack and the entire leadership team are truly committed to advancing equity.
Today, I'm filled with hope and confidence that our seat at the table is secure and the needs and concerns of farm workers will be addressed.
Where we march toward equity with accountability, permanence, respect, dignity, all in the mix.
The final report is an attestation to the commitment of the Equity Commission and its Agriculture and Rural Community Economic Development subcommittees, and their expansive knowledge and expertise in how equity can be integrated so that all customers at USDA receive a fair shot at a prosperous and successful livelihood.
And I'm proud of the fact that this department has had the strength and the willingness and the guts to open itself up. But it is a beginning of a significant journey, one that is incredibly important, and one that not only can provide guidance for this department, but for the federal government and for all governments.